Good morning, good afternoon. Back at it again. Another fairly turn quick. I think this is day 11 in a row for us in terms of going. So, yeah, we're excited to get back after it. It was a nice feeling. I think we had a great feeling in the locker room after the other night, and that happens when you have 29 assists and you share the basketball, and I think it's really unique. I don't know the last time it's happened, and I don't know if it's ever happened with me, that we play a half and don't turn the ball over. And I was really proud of our guys, because it wasn't that we didn't play with tempo and pace. We scored 62 points, and yet we did the small things. We executed, and that was very, very encouraging to see. I felt like it was the first time that we didn't have the ball stick. And what I mean by that is sometimes we've tried too much to force the ball to Kofi, and the ball's stuck and it hasn't popped. And I thought we played with much better pace after watching the film. So thought we did a lot of good things, and we've got to continue to build on that. I thought defensively, it was not one of our better games in terms of defensive execution, but I think score had a little bit to do with that, and maybe a little lack of concentration. So we've tried really hard to clean that up here in the last couple days. Got a very solid 3-1 Lindenwood team coming in, a team that's going to again challenge us. 33-point attempts a game. They're not real big. They're extremely disciplined though, and this will be a game that we could see 70 to 80 ball screens in a game, which will be a real challenge in terms of they come at all angles. They've got a young man that is very similar to the guard we just saw in the last game. The Crockett kid's averaging 27, 28 points a game. He scores it in a lot of different ways, and so he'll be a great challenge for us. But their 4s and 5s really shoot the basketball, so it'll drag our bigs away from the rim a little bit. But Kyle's doing a great job in his first year, and this is a team that is extremely well coached and extremely explosive. They took a very good Bellarmine team right down to the wire, and we all know they're going Division I here in the not too distant future, and had a great opportunity to win that game. So I expect a great challenge from Lindenwood tomorrow.
As far as ball screens, which of your guys have the most work to do, you think, in learning how to react?
Well, I think it's everybody. You know, we want to always look and blame. We spent a lot of time on it today in practice. We always want to blame that our bigs or this or that are getting exploited, and the guards have just as much responsibility and or more. One of the big areas that we're working with is just simply communicating, understanding and identifying when we need to switch. That was a challenge in the Hampton game, and something we've got to get cleaned up. But you know, I think that it's very much a team thing. It's not just an individual thing.
Brad, with 6 games, the sample size now, are there certain stats that are starting to tell the story of whatever you see as encouraging or needs to be worked on?
Well, I love the fact we're not fouling, or not fouling as much. Let's put it that way. And you know, when I go back to you know, to last season, it was something we did a lot, but we never made up for it because we never went to the line ourselves, and we did an offensive rebound. And then when you're number 1 in the country in rebounding, we take a lot of pride in that. So, you know, that's something that those things are very important as we continue to move forward. Our offensive rebounding numbers, we only had 14 the other night, but you know, there's not going to be a lot when you shoot 60%. So, yeah, you know, I think we're getting there. There's some things we're not doing well that we've got to continue to work on and get better at. But you know, some basic overall trends are the fouling is one of the biggest things that we've been very pleased with.
Right. You had roster that largely intact from last year, but you added a big piece in Kofi, and roles have adjusted. How have you seen that the last, especially 3 games during this home stretch. Have you seen an evolution of
Yeah.
people in their roles?
Yeah, there's no doubt, and I think that's the challenge that every coach goes through at the start of every year is the roles and identifying what those roles are going to be, and obviously, we know Kofi's a unique piece just in terms of his physicality, but and his size, but we've also made some changes systematically, and so that's taken a little bit, and I think obviously we've seen a little better flow. The last 3 halves, we've shot over 60%. You see our threes and our attempts are way down. To me, that was one of the impressive things about Hampton the other night was 120 points, and we only made 8 threes. So, I think there's role identification. I think we're starting to fall into those things better, and I think the primary example of that is Georgie, and he's gone from a low post bang back to the basket guy to now a guy that's playing out on the perimeter a lot, and his growth at that spot, and I think it speaks volumes to his IQ and understanding of the game, is a big reason we've made this big jump.
How about Trent and kind of his evolution into
Yeah.
defensive stopper?
A great story about Trent the other night was I don't know, it was 12:30, 1 o'clock, and he's texting, wanting to know what we do a grade out system defensively, and he's texting wanting to know what his grade is. And he wasn't worried at all about the fact that he was 0 for 1 at half. And again, I think it's the evolution of what a college basketball player is about as they become older. Early on, he was a scorer in high school. He came in with that mentality. He was asked to do that here as a freshman. Now he's about winning, and he's about doing whatever. And here's a young man who he wants the challenge of every single night of being the Marcus Smart or the Pat Beverly. He wants that stigma and that identity tabbed to him, and that's the growth and evolution of a really, really good kid and a very competitive player.
Brad Kofi just swept Big Ten Player of the Weekend, Freshman of the Week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just in your career, have you been around players like him that are just so dominant physically and have that impact on the board? And then
No,
just,
well, in a different way. I was fortunate. I coached Michael Beasley. Michael averaged 26 and 12,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to put Kofi in that category yet. But the uniqueness of Kofi is just his sheer size and his athleticism, and that's a handful because teams don't have that. Those awards are a tribute to him, but most importantly, they're a tribute to his teammates. And his teammates have fully accepted him as a guy who can do some things and is a really good player, and putting him in those positions. And big guys don't have success without really good guards. And yet Kofi's done his part, and he continues to get better every single day. And that's a tribute to the guys on our team that he wins that.
Brad, 6 games in, I was curious what you thought of the flopping call and how you've seen it get called, and do you have concerns about it going
It's
forward?
an unbelievable. I'm so happy that they're putting that in. That's something that's been a part of the game for way too long. It's something that is there's no need for trickery. We have one of the most fantastic games that can be played, and we've created a game now with the officiating the way it is, the free flowing. It's fun to watch. It's a game that the fans enjoy, the players enjoy playing, and to have that nonsense in the game is great, and I'm excited. It's going to impact until coaches tell players to quit doing it. And when you can get away with it, you do it a lot. And now nobody's been able to get away with it, and they're popping them with a technical, and it will impact the game.
You mentioned the vibe in the locker room with to Hampton, 29 assists. Just the players maybe seeing that type of offensive performance, what can it do for them moving forward?
Well, we use the word connectivity a lot. And you know, I think the one thing I was probably as excited about as any was the play Georgie got a dunk, just running the floor, sprinting down the court. Dre gives him a great pass. The wings did their job, and you should see the four guys on the court, how excited they were that Georgie got that dunk. Kofi's sitting at half court, and I mean, he's flexing and posing, and Dre threw the pass, and his hands are up. And then you pan to our bench, and our bench is going nuts. Connectivity. And that means we're becoming all connected, and our locker room is about the right things. Now, those were feel-good moments as well, but I love that, and it didn't matter. Jermaine sets an unbelievable back screen on Sampson's dunk, and you should see Jermaine pumping his fist because he set the screen. That's the unselfishness we're looking for, and that's the connectivity, and that's why you can have great locker rooms like that after a game like that.
And point out that anybody actually can see that by going to Sampson's Twitter feed, because he
Is it out there?
He loaded the whole GIF.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Georgie actually steals the show again.
Yeah, Georgie has a way of doing that.
Just talking with Ben a little bit, just like the way he views his role is just maybe being in the right spots and doing the right things. Just how rare is that for a
That's pretty
18-year-old?
mature for a freshman, isn't it? Ben's very seldom out of, I mean, his understanding of the game is beyond his years in terms of knowing what to do. His ability to pick things up is exceptional. Ben's a guy that you only have to tell things or show him one time how to do things. That's very rare for a freshman. And yet the game is still, in his mind, a little sped up on the offensive end. I am very, very comfortable with Ben in a ball game on the defensive end. He is going to be in the right place. He's going to talk. He's going to make the right calls. He's going to go rebound. He's going to do everything that we ask him to do. And I'm starting to develop a lot of comfort in that.
Coach, how has Ben responded physically playing these games in a short period of time?
I think been great. Been great. Nobody works harder than Ben. And you know, here's a young man who spends a ton of time with Fletch. You know, he's dropped some weight, which has been good. You know, he was up to, I think, 247, which is a little big for him. I think we got him down to 238, 237, 238. That'll help his mobility and his quickness. But he's just really playing himself into what I would consider elite basketball shape. And again, you know, for a young man who was not with us this summer at all, I've been extremely pleased with his progress.
Offensively with him, what has to happen for the game to slow down? Is it just being out there and
Repetitions, practice. You know, and it's understanding where those opportunities come, and not so much for him to score, but what we're looking for in the schematic picture of what we're running or what we're trying to do, and he sees everything, and it's going really fast with a lot of moving parts. And when you do something enough and you run it dry or you see it, then the game starts to slow down because you actually understand what's coming, and then you take the scouting piece and say, okay, this is how they're going to guard it, and you start to see those things before they happen, and he's not doing that yet, but getting closer.
Brad, you mentioned Georgie's change of his role from somebody on the block to out on the perimeter. How do you guys as a coaching staff, what's your process to help him with that evolution? And showing him film of other players, how do you guys help him?
Oh, well, there was a lot of film early. Now it's literally just repetitions. And, you know, Georgie's got a tough role because I'm pretty comfortable with him in the post as well and trying to get him some post-up opportunities. And, you know, he's obviously, it's not any secret. I mean, Georgie's probably shot as many balls from the three-point line as anybody in the offseason. We're starting to see the growth of that and the comfort he makes one a game. So, but the ball's not sticking. You know, he's not trying to do too much every time he catches it. Now he's just popping it, making easy, simple plays. The first 3 or 4 games in particular, the ball stuck in his hands. He felt like he had to be the guy to make the pass or to make the play, and now he's just popping it. I mean, how good a play was that the other night? Catches it, has a 3, puts it on the floor, drives it, and then hits Dre for a nice little bounce pass for a 5-footer. I mean, that's a heck of a play by anybody, let alone somebody who's 6'9", 245.
Is that fake 3 that he passes into Kofi? Is that a play for you guys? Or
Yeah, that's something. I mean, he's crafty. He understands the game. He gets the defense to lift a little bit, and he's got that ability to do that. Kofi knows to look for it, and he's very adept at that.
Going back to Kofi, just how early on did you realize you wanted to recenter your offense around him? How risky can that be for a coach to center your offense around a freshman who you haven't seen play at this level yet?
Well, he's unique, so that again, and I don't want to say we're centering around him. I think we're taking a concept that is about attacking the front of the rim, and there's a lot of ways to do that. And we've done that. We've had a lot of points in the paint the last couple of years. We've just done it primarily with cutters, and not as many post-ups. To put him in that position and to put our team in a position to keep attacking the front of the rim, Kofi's a guy that you want him to have those opportunities at the front of the rim because he does demand attention. He is very fast. He can run. He can stress a defense. And, I think we're going to continue to see defenses have to start scheming for him. You can't just let him catch it down there. He puts fouls on people, and he is a problem. In turn, that'll be a lot of stuff we work on over the Christmas holidays, is start letting him see those packages. But I don't think we've centered around him. I think we've centered around a concept to keep attacking the front of the rim, and now we've got a piece that we can continue to do that with.
Coach, since the Arizona road trip, you guys have a 5-game homestand, 3 of them in the books. How important is it to have those 5 home games, to get installed and have these guys kind of figure out how to work together and then show improvement?
Well, the week off helped, as well. There's no substitute for practice, and I'm going to go back a year. I think one of the great challenges a year ago was just we played so rapidly that we didn't get a ton of practice time. We were in Maui a year ago, and you came home, and all of a sudden it was a game on Sunday and the ACC Challenge, and then you're in Big Ten play, and it was like, when do we get a chance to recover and work on some of those things? Now, scheduling a little better has helped. It's given us an opportunity to get on the court and clean some things up, and then staying at home has helped. Not only just playing in the State Farm Center, but the lack of travel. So it's enhanced our guys a great deal. I know that, and we've made major improvements every single day.
What's the biggest point of preparedness you feel you have when the calendar turns and see major programs again versus where you were before facing Arizona to when Miami comes to town?
Yeah, I mean, the size will be different. The players will be, maybe more veteran. I don't want to say they're any better. I don't know. I haven't got that far ahead, but I know that teams are schematically probably going to continue to look and say, okay, we've got to take this away or take that away. A lot of that in the non-league we haven't seen as much. Kofi's going to have a little bit different feel. He hasn't physically been challenged like he's going to be in the high major games, but that's all part of the growth. And he handled it okay in Arizona, but he's a different young man since then too.
With Trent's current role, there are moments where you still would like to see him get a few more shots up, knowing he can take over games as a shot maker. Is that something that's just going to be there when you need it?
Yeah, we were working on late game stuff here this morning in practice, and we found a way to get Trent a lot of shots. I didn't think that Trent didn't take shots the other night. I just thought it was one of those situations that just happened. I I never want Trent to not take a shot. That sucker's going to make it when he shoots it. And so I think it was just one of those situations. But the maturity of what he did was, it never affected what he did at the other end. He became better at the other end. So, you know, Trent, everybody might have that night. Dre might have a night where he only gets a couple of attempts up. We had Allen going. You know, there was so much productivity. He just did what he needed to do, and that's what's so impressive about what he did on the defensive end.
Brad, I think Kobe's been getting fouled more than 5 times a game, which is all kind of a lot. It makes sense, but you mentioned you guys are getting to the line more and how that kind of contrasts to last year and the year before. What's his effect on that?
Oh, a lot. I mean, there's no doubt. And you know, there's nothing like being in the bonus with 14, 15 minutes to go in the second half, knowing that you've got the guards we have that can also drive the ball. So that helps them. You know, pressure on the front of the rim is important. And, you know, there's 2 or 3 calls the other night where he gets smacked and they don't call it. And he's fallen into some of that. It'll be something, you know, we're going to have to continue to monitor, because just because he's bigger and stronger than everybody, a foul's a foul. And but you know, that's something we want to continue to do is put fouls on people and get to the foul line, and you know, our team's becoming more comfortable there. Obviously, Georgie and Kofi get there a great deal. So yeah, we're going to keep doing it.
We have time for 2 more.
Brad, there was a reunion last week for the original women's basketball coach, Steve Douglas. I don't know if you knew anything about that, but I wonder if, as a player at K-State or as a coach at K-State, you knew who Steve Douglas was.
I did, but I was not aware of that. But
did you know he was the original women's basketball coach?
I did not know that, but I'm glad you so pointed that out for me.
Can you say, what do you remember about Steve Douglas?
I don't remember it. I just know the name.
Yeah.
Is there any update on Tevin Jones and his way back to the court?
It's still right where it's at, and we'll continue to further monitor his return. He's in practice every day.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.